Old men who squatted on their heels reeled their fishing lines in, carrying their lures home in scrubbed-out paint buckets. Soon it would be dark. Soon a cloistering silence would descend on the leaves and grass, broken only by the rustle of the wind and the steady drone of the highway, as persistent as seawater or the beat of a heart. I thought of the water as I listened for the baby's breath, in and out, lightly broken, sometimes by a hiccup or a snore. We had made the walk to the river's banks 100 times over the summer, Mike sometimes breaking off for a run, while I saw how many native grasses I could name. Now in the deep of winter it ran through my thoughts nightly, bringing a cool little rush with it, a rush of relief. We kept the heating on at home, trying to fend off the drizzle and damp, and ran it through the night for the baby's sake, though in truth he seemed all right. A hot little furnace running hotter in his sleep. Through the tide of hormones surging within my body and the little runnels of blood, and the sour tang of my breasts, I lay awake, listening and thinking of breath and of water. I had broken my relationship with sleep. It was no longer safe. If I did drift off, the baby's shrills of noise let down my milk and sent a hot flush of sweat through my body before my brain had a chance to catch up, and I would wake sticky and panicked and sure that something was wrong. The sickening wrench of waking was awful, so I lay in bed playing possum. It was better to be passive, to let the baby suckle me without protest, and then settle him down to fall asleep again, his small fists raised above his head. I lay awake and listened to the quality of the silence change. When I was sure the house was asleep again, I rolled to the side of the bed gently, so as not to aggravate the incision site, and maneuvered myself up. It was the same move my midwife had taught me, a kind of slow roll and rise that made up for the lack of a core. The rest of the house was dead at night. The only center of breath, our stale, fecal bedroom, where the heat coalesced and cushioned us into a relentlessly interrupted stupor. Outside the door, which I gently closed, the air was fresh and cool. The floorboards sent chills upward as I shuffled down the hall. Through the living room, our paintings and books veiled in shadow. Past the dining table, smothered in vases of congratulatory flowers. The tiles of the bathroom floor felt like ice against my skin, and I stripped off my t-shirt, soaked with the night's flushes of sweat, and pressed my bare back more firmly against them. Here, in the quiet, there was only my breath and the rustle of leaves outside. The nauseating heat of my skin, the clamminess of it, found its counterpoint. My breath sounds were the noises of one person, not 3. In the cold and calm, I lay on my back and thought about the river. It wasn't hard to draw its coolness around me, its chill. The fog of sleeplessness cohered into a single vision. I would walk out of the house and across the highway, leaving no sign behind me. Down the steep hill that led to the river's banks, my hands would reach out for leaves and flowers, touching all the glossy, dew-specked marks of winter growth. Then I would slip out of my clothes, fold them neatly, and disappear beneath the surface of the water. In a few hours the sun would come up, glinting off the mineral bits of rocks and discarded fits and discarded fish hooks. The oars of boats would shatter the river's surface into a million green-brown sequins, and the new day of its life would begin. The flowers would open to the sun, starved for light. And Mike would wake and know that I was gone. He would grieve, I knew he would grieve, but he would be anchored to the earth by this tiny, mewling child I felt no stirring of warmth for. He would find love again because he was easy to love, and another woman would blossom toward our baby and reveal herself to be the real, true mother, the mother our baby would need. In the cold rush of water, my flesh would loosen, become swollen. My engorged breasts would leak a trail of warm milk into the river, The heel.